It is extremely precise and allows you to slow down the motorcycle very quickly. Once again on the Pulsar, and once again in crazy weather. The start of the summer holidays hasn't been favorable for motorcyclists, and especially for students who would already like to relax in such beautiful natural surroundings in the kind of conditions we have here today during our Pulsar 200 test. What is the Pulsar 200? The Pulsar 200 is above all a motorcycle that's perfect for the city. It also performs quite well in touring conditions, in situations where we're riding more than 50 kilometers. On this Pulsar, over the past 2 days, I've ridden more than 600 kilometers. Until now, I used to take the 200 cubic centimeter engine capacity with a grain of salt. After all, you won't find such motorcycles anywhere in Europe, and they're also extremely rare around the world. So who would choose a 200 cubic centimeter bike if they have a license and are looking for a motorcycle? Most likely, that person would go for a 250. It turns out that this 200 actually performs quite well on the road, and I'm almost certain it could outrun more than a few 250s. I would like the law to be changed. 125 is definitely not enough. 200 cubic centimeters in this type of machine is more than enough for traveling wherever you want with whatever luggage you choose to take. In my opinion, 200 cubic centimeters wins in this area, but that's basically obvious. The Pulsar 200 is equipped with an extremely dynamic engine with a displacement of 200 cubic centimeters. The power unit itself delivers 23.5 horsepower at 9,500 revolutions per minute. Is that enough? On the road, it's more than enough. In the city, I never encountered a situation where someone had to overtake me at an intersection. The engine's dynamics are impressive and make riding a lot of fun. The engine also doesn't disappoint on the open road. 140 kilometers per hour is the highest speed I reached on this motorcycle. However, it must be honestly admitted that the top speed hovers around 130 kilometers per hour. Most of the time though, we travel at speeds of 120 or 90 kilometers per hour, so we have enough power in reserve to, for example, overtake a truck. The engine is equipped with a 6-speed gearbox, which could be a bit more precise. The movement of the lever that we have to make is quite large. So each time we need to remember to bring our foot back to the neutral position so that we can shift into second gear right after. And we have to keep in mind that the gear ratios are quite short because the 200cc engine capacity is quite demanding when it comes to shifting gears and the transmission ratios. The braking system of the Pulsar 200 is both its greatest advantage and unfortunately its drawback. It's an advantage because it allows for very precise and quick braking of the motorcycle. On the other hand, it's a drawback because it doesn't have ABS on the rear wheel. ABS only works on the front, and in fact this can be a huge advantage if you want to put the motorcycle into a controlled slide. However, it has happened to me while riding in the rain that the rear slid out because of my habits and the fact that somewhere in the back of my mind I knew the motorcycle had ABS. You have to keep this in check, especially in slippery conditions and above all during emergency braking. Contrary to popular belief, small motorcycles like 125cc models actually rack up a lot of kilometers each year. These motorcycles aren't just for Sunday rides with friends to grab a bite to eat. Here, the bike is used every day for commuting to work, running errands, or traveling from the village to the city, specifically to do some shopping. And simply put, such a motorcycle accompanies the rider in their everyday life. We have to remember that in countries like India or Brazil, these machines are used for everyday transportation from point A to point B. It often doesn't have much to do with passion, although looking at this bike, I can confidently say that the designers approached it a bit differently. Here you can see the passion, especially devoted to style and appearance, although that look still refers to Indian technological thought. But you have to admit, it doesn't look bad, it presents itself impressively, and it's definitely not embarrassing to ride such a motorcycle around the city, or as they say in the proverbial village,